Welcome back. Here we go. Vinyl finds. Are we at 100? We could be very close. I really should have checked that before because I feel like if it was 100, I should be doing something a bit more special. Um, I don't know. And saying that though, I have got some very special records in here. Um, as I always do. I've been quite lucky this year so far. This is a. I've called it World. That's not even really true. It's just a collection of things. We've got some three records from Brazil, a reggae record, and a soul funk jazz record. So it's sort of world in that it's not from a white Western perspective, which is what white people call world music, right? Anything that's not, you know. Anyway, this is getting off on a tangent. Hope you're all doing well. Um, got some more finds. I was thinking maybe I should do a bit of a um, show you where all my records are because I've done them more by genre now, and there's more records going that way and more records going that way. So I may pull the camera up in a later video and show you how it's done by genre and maybe pull out some records. Let me know if you would like me to do something like that. Yeah, I thought it could be cool. I don't know. We'll see. I've also got a lot of records in here that I obviously got out of storage, and there's record. I've probably shown most things I've shown in videos over the past 5 years or so, but the stuff I haven't shown in years that you may be surprised that I have, or So I was thinking maybe I should do a video and just pull out some things that I haven't shown or talked about in a long time. That could be quite cool. I've seen people do like videos where they randomly pick out a number from the collection and talk about the record or something like that. I'm not sure, but that is where we're at, and here we go. All right, I'm going to start with something. So I used to have, well, I was gifted a copy of this record through the vinyl community about 4 years ago, and that was through someone. I'm not sure if he still watches, but John Eggert, or John Ra was his name. He made some really cool videos for about a year there and then sort of dropped off, who I still talk to sometimes on social media, mainly through Instagram. John sent me a copy of this, a really gracious copy of it about 4 years ago. It was quite a very noisy copy. He told me that, full disclosure. So it was lots of pops. If you know this record, there's some really beautiful soft songs with just vocals and piano or keyboard. So to find an upgrade copy of this, I had to get it. So I scooped this recently. I did keep John's original note and put it in this copy. A bit of vinyl community history there. I just thinking about it now, I did myself and Andrew Gordon ChampSound many years ago did a video together where we did a live unboxing of records from John, which was really cool. He came over to my house and we did a live thing. I'll see if I'll put the link to it below because it was quite a fun little video to do. So John sent us both records and we both, caught up and did a live unboxing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So my other copy of this from John, I gave to to a really good friend of mine over here. So in the spirit of the vinyl community, the record has been passed on, and I've got an upgrade copy. So yeah, there we go. This is there's a Flying Dutchman in a sleeve. I don't need to talk about this record. I think this is his best record. They're all absolutely wonderful. I'm a big fan of this record. I have heard the opening track, "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised," probably one too many times. But "Home Is Where the Hatred Is," "Lady Day," John Coltrane, "I Think I'll Call It Morning." Even just the track "Pieces of a Man" is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I don't need to talk about this too much. I think you should all know this record. Amazing "Pieces of a Man." We'll go. This is something I picked up based on recognizing the cover and recognizing the label. I picked it up at a record fair quite cheaply. This is "Staggering Heights" by Singers and Players. Singers and Players were basically the all-star cast of a lot of the members who were on the label On You Sound, which is Adrian Sherwood's label out of the UK. I seem to find or see a lot of On You Sound records over here in New Zealand. I'm not really sure if that's just because I wasn't really aware so much when I was living in Australia, or I don't know if you guys who live in the UK, do you see this label around a lot? Because I see quite a lot of stuff. I mean, I just love that cover. If anything, that's on the cover. That is Bim Sherman, who I think was one of the founding members of the label. This has basically got everybody that I know of who is associated with On New Sound. I'm not going to read out the names, but yeah, this is awesome. This is really good. How do I describe this? Bits of electronic, bits of reggae. It's just a really classic record of it just captures the sound of the label. A really good track is Snipers in the Stream. Yeah, really great. There's someone, Dr. Pablo plays keyboards in here. I wonder if that would be Augustus Pablo. Yeah. Staggering Heights. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in checking out this label. Yeah, really happy. That one was on the want list for a long time. Well, probably about a year it's been on my want list. Is that a long time? I don't know. It's not years, but yeah, something I've been aware of, and I was happy to find it. It looks like a blues cover, doesn't it? Almost. Really great. Anyway. Okay, the last three. How quick are we going for time? Jesus, we're going very quickly. Maybe I need to slow down. I think I do speak very quickly in these videos. I need to slow down a bit more and talk maybe with a bit more purpose and a lot less rambling. This is got a sticker on the label there. João Bosco's first record. It's just called Self-Titled. This is came out on RCA Victor Brazil. I think it came out in 60, 72, something like that. And this is a complete guess. It doesn't say, so it doesn't help me, but this is an 80s pressing. Yeah, what did it say, something like that? It doesn't. You'll have to Google it. I apologize. Anyway, this is his first record. Really weird, really unusual. His vocals are quite like... I'm not going to say abrasive, but you know how a lot of MBP or early bossa-infused Brazilian stuff is quite... There's usually lots of like soft vocals or soft tones. He has quite a, like, not nasal, but kind of a... He sounds a bit more aggressive, or a bit more... his vocals sound a bit more on edge. And I've been reading that, you know, he's singing about a lot of the political situation at the time, so I can understand there's a bit more of a fierce edge to it. Some really interesting compositions on this. I don't think this gets the credit. There's the second album. You will know the cover. It gets a lot of hype. But I really like this. The songs aren't immediately memorable, but they really get in your head after a while. This took me quite a while to get my head into it, get my head into the space of what he was doing, and I really like this. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people who are only mentioned by first name, so that doesn't really help. But yeah, I think it doesn't say. Anyway, this is really good, really worth checking out. It's still quite cheap, I think, so you should be able to grab it. João Bosco. Two more. We'll end. I'm going to end with my big grail record. This is something that had been on the edges of my radar for a while. I had tried previously to listen to his other record before this, Previso, you know, the one, it's where he's underwater on the cover. And I thought, to be honest, that was pretty okay. It's very nice. It gets a lot of hype from a lot of you guys, but I just never really struck a chord with me. And I didn't really decide to check it out further when they came out. But I was down walking past my local record store, and I noticed that they had a whole bunch of markdown bins they just put out. So this one, because it's got a bit of cover damage on the corners here, this was down to $15, so I couldn't pass it by. That's 15 New Zealand dollars. I'm sure that's probably about $7 or something in the US. I'm not even sure. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this one a go. I don't know this particular record itself, and I really like it. I really, really like this record. It's very different to the one before that, mainly because it's got a lot of soul influences and orchestral string influences, and yeah, mixtures of funk and soul. Yeah, really cool. I like this because it's quite different to a lot of Brazilian stuff that I know of. Yeah, he really absolutely manages to really get an influence of American soul music into the Brazilian sound. I can absolutely recommend this. There's a three-part suite on the second side, and he even sort of goes into Axelrod territory. I would dare say it. There's some really nice moments where the strings really swell and a really funky beat drops into it. But yeah, I don't know how much he was channeling Axelrod, but he definitely gets that vibe on the second side. So that alone makes it definitely worth a listen. This came out in 1970, so it's his second record of three. The third one ends up in a more sort of disco vein, and it's just a little bit on the wrong side of cheesy for me. But yeah, I mean, this is Light in the Attic. They did a really good job, really thick gatefold. Comes with a cool booklet with a whole bunch of notes you can read about him. And I found this, which was kind of cool. It's a Light in the Attic little booklet that they would have put out around about the time of this coming out. And it's got talked about all the releases and does some interviews with people. And I don't know if they still do these anymore, but that was quite cool. I had a quick read of this, of all the ones that I didn't know or didn't bother getting at the time. A lot of these things are records that I should get, and they're all great, you know. The Karen Dalton record, I still don't have. The Free Design reissues, I still don't have. Jim Sullivan UFOs on my want list. Yeah, Black Monk Time, still don't have that. There's quite a few absolute classic records on here. Yeah. Anyway, that was that. That's Marcos Valle, 1970. Really, really enjoyable. Super happy. That's a case of being absolutely, really happily surprised by something that wasn't previously right in my radar, I suppose. Last one only arrived this week because I ordered it from Brazil about 2.5 months ago, and the guy or lady took about 3.5 weeks to ship it. So they didn't tell me that, so I just was starting to think that it was lost in the mail, and the guy didn't put a tracking number on it, so I was getting a little bit worried. But it showed up, and thankfully, because it was quite an expensive record, last of my funds that I made from the record fair, and I finally picked up a Brazilian copy of this record here, Novos Baianos. I have to thank our very own Fred Big Star 1000 for switching me onto this. Really, before I knew anything about Brazilian music or Tropicalia, this isn't Tropicalia, but anything about Brazilian music, this was the first thing that I heard, and I really enjoyed it. And I've been wanting a copy for years to try and find a copy that's in an affordable copy and in a decent shape, because there's some very quiet tracks on here. So I finally got it. It has been reissued, I think, twice. I think Mr. Bongo did it very recently, and I've been sorely tempted. And I've had it in my hand about 4 or 5 times, or in my cart. And I said, no, I'm going to hold out and get an original copy, just because it's one of those records that, for me, is in the top 5 of the Brazilian records that I know. I can't say I know everything, but this is well up there. Absolutely wonderful. I'm not going to describe this. Just beautiful. I'm just smiling looking at it. So the original copies come with, I'm not sure if you can see, a 4-page fold out, which include the lyrics and stuff. Yeah. So cool, so light, so breezy. There's elements of samba, there's elements of psychedelic fuzzy guitar in here. Some really, really nice bossa nova type things. It's really mixing it up. Bits of batucada rhythms in here. Yeah, it's a really cool Brazilian record, and to get an original copy, and it was on eBay and it was listed as excellent condition, which, you know, that could really mean anything from VG plus to near mint. It's probably closer to VG plus 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 plus. I haven't given it a clean yet, and as it is now, I'm pretty happy with it. So that's all a good sign. But yeah, this is a big one for me. I sort of made a list of 12 records I would like to get this year that I've been wanting for a long time, and that was on the 12. So it's March, and I've checked off 3 of those. So far, so good, which is great. It's a nice feeling to finally have it. Yeah, I'll show you the label. On the Son Livre label, there you go. Super cool. Novos Baianos. I feel like I described that not very well. But there we go. I was around a little bit of the world in 15 minutes. All right, let's leave it at that. Have a great week. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Stay tuned. There's always more videos coming. Yeah. See ya.